Welcome, SASANs, to our house rule infested home game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening, and as we have done since the beginning of time being last year, we're going to give away a giveaway, as giveaways normally work as giveaways. And the way that you can become eligible for this giveaway is by liking this video, subscribing if you haven't already, sharing if you have not already, and then writing us some juicy, relevant feedback in the comment section below, letting us know what you thought about this episode. We're trying to learn and grow ourselves, and you can help. Now, say it with me, SASANs. Who's that giveaway? It's a $20 gift card to Amazon. Again. It's probably the same one, too.
No, it can't be.
3. Now, let me introduce, or let us introduce our fine players that are playing with us this evening. Roll the tape!
I'm Thunky Beerbot, and don't let my facial hair fool you. I am a female mountain dwarf druid. I come from a long line of beer brewers, hence the name Beerbot. I had a mostly normal upbringing in the mountains of northern Melibrius, and I've always had an affinity towards animals, not so much the ruling races. I have many fond childhood memories of wandering the local forests in search of new furry friends. Eventually, on the advice of my parents, I enrolled in druidic studies and began honing my spellcasting abilities. My instructor, Elder Dalbrook, was a highly logical man and taught me my most important life lesson, that even though nature is beautiful, it cannot exist without chaos. There isn't a day that goes by that I do not repeat that message to myself. I understand that not all beasts can be tamed, and sometimes I will have to battle one. I don't like to admit it, but this happens more often with my new family, Oren's Obliterate. But I will stop at nothing to ensure their safety, and I may cause some chaos in the process.
If you were to gaze upon the mysterious property of Orenbelle's finest artificer, you would find a very large mansion met by a garden with superbly sculpted shrubbery. At any given time, there is but only one worker which may be found on these grounds. And why, that is me, Crow. I am one of Master Cumentus's many creations. The majority of my being is made up of organic, plant-like material. The rest is mechanical. There are many duties for which I was created for, some of which include cooking, cleaning, obtaining materials and ingredients, assisting with laboratory duties, removing trespassers from the property, acting as the master's personal bodyguard when in town, and closest friend, always. These may be some of my regular duties, though Master Cumentus mentioned that I am fully loaded with great purpose and grand potential. I have yet to discover the meaning behind those words. Maybe he was referencing the inaccessible areas of my internal systems. Or maybe he was just trying to make me feel better about my self-realized lack of greater purpose in this world. Or maybe it is a metaphor for the many journeys he planned for us. Either way, I seek to discover the true potential of my being.
Hello, I am Varkir Invictari. I am an Aasimar of the clan Invictari at Barathor's Reach. To explain more about myself, I must first explain the world we live in, full of angels and monsters that toy with mortal lives like cheap coins. I sought out to rid us of the need to constantly appease these beings of considerable power. Even if all the world is my enemy, they will thank me when the work is done, for I believe in the strength of my fellow mortal. We have turned the tides of battle with nothing but one act that has spiraled out to a glory that is yet to be rivaled in this day and age. Kalinor, my right hand, my sword and shield. Altero, my left, my bow. All the others were dear to me, just as my mother and father. The angel that speaks to me in my dreams warns me of the dangers of what I do. But I know my path is virtuous, though I cannot say the same for the company I now find myself with. They may represent the truest of dangers, or the brightest of futures. Time will tell.
My name is Herchek Bane. I am from the clan the Frenzied Bear, whose home is at the northeastern part of the Shattered Peaks. Growing up, I was split between two tribes, fighting over the land we both tried to call our own. My tribe's battle mentality was of pure carnage during warring, praising an unknown entity that I personally detested. My father, Urkhelm Bane, was fourth in line to be chieftain, known in the tribe to be a fierce warrior on the battlefield, and to have saved many lives in combat over the ages. He has but one mighty secret, which is where I come in. Born from a forbidden love with a mighty warrior woman from the clan the Roaring Tempest, my tribe's rivals. My mother, Rakir Stormwill, the Roaring Tempest. She was a brutal warrior on the battlefield and a kind priestess to those in need. Her deity, Regentia, as a weapon as well as her shield, is the goddess I now follow. After years of secrecy, I could no longer hold back my rage. During a battle with a fellow clansman, I unleashed my storm-bound fury. Luckily, through the deeds of my father and the tribe, I was not sentenced to death on the spot. I was, though, cast out from my clan, exiled, never to return or show my face around them. My title in the clan removed from me. One day I will return to my homeland and take over my clan to show them that there can be peace amongst all tribes. Unity is what I seek for the Goliath race, and I will achieve that goal, even if it takes my life.
Alright. When last we left our heroes of Oren's Obliterate, they were making their final preparations to leave their home city of Orenbelle once again. They then met up with Carnagal in their caravan of peace, meant to, well, make peace and amend their relationship with Bresh. A 3-day journey to Bresh now lies ahead of them through the nebulous plains, leaving the Orenbelle kingdom via the Orbit Gate, then off through the Evergreen Forest, through the Black Valley, and finally into Bresh. But nothing can ever be so simple, can it? Crossing the nebulous plains, nearly a mile from the Orbit Gate, a Sprinterhawk shepherd, traveling in the same direction as Oren's Obliterate, revealed themselves to be the Baroness of Beasts, Cleopatra, the large humanoid zebra bounty hunter. Her gleefully prancing Sprinterhawks morphed into a stampede of raging buffalo, heading right for the Caravan of Peace, led by our heroes. Herchek, taking the first decisive action, halted the Caravan of Peace, deciding this was the best method forward. Best method forward. He intended to build their defense and stand their ground for the onrushing Cleopatra and her horde of buffaloes. The rest of Oren's Obliterate quickly adapted, got into position, and through a series of impressive and unwitting tactical decisions and expert offensive maneuvering, only more than half of the entire caravan was completely destroyed. But it came at the cost of Cleopatra's life. A life not even punctuated by a dying phrase. Dying words, nothing. Just a blip gone from the world. Thank you, everybody of Oren's Obliterate. That was great.
I gave her some words.
Job.
She just didn't say anything back.
It's difficult to do when you are
Getting murdered
mentally compelled.
because you're incompetent.
All right. Our heroes now pick up outside of Orbit Gate, a white-stoned barrier between the land of Orenbelle and the outside world. The sunlight's all but gone, a sky filled with clouds and absent of stars ensures that the creeping dark is all too dense. piles of salvage from the damaged wagons lay across the only two that are still intact. I want you guys to decide who rolls, we'll say at advantage, to find out how much of the damaged caravan you can salvage.
I should definitely not roll this. I am not good at
Does this include us,
searching.
even though we went forward ahead?
Yeah, you guys are all... we fast-forwarded a few minutes to where you were all in front of the orbit gate. The caravan has been...
I'm gonna
as
be like
much as it could.
observing the field. Like, Thuggy, could you help me out, please?
I'm gonna come over and do like a quick assessment.
And the
I'm gonna pull out some scribe stuff, and I can't spell good, so it's just gonna be really bad. Take note of everything. I'm gonna take inventory.
Okay, so who's rolling?
I'll roll.
Okay, go for it then.
At advantage. What
Yes.
is this roll? Is it anything?
Investigation.
Okay. 14.
It's better than what I was thinking. You made that face. I was like,
I mean, they're bad rolls, but thank God. You got a bonus there.
Okay, as you guys, in the time in between last session and this session, the Sprinter Hawk riders helped you sort of collect everything that was salvageable and put them in their own carts that they wheeled out from the orbit gate. You were able to salvage a few pristine items from each cart, but for the most part, most everything else was destroyed beyond salvation. Varkir, I would like you to roll an investigation check to see what you gained from Cleopatra's deceased body. And I would also like to know what you're doing with her corpse.
Do I have anything to that roll?
In explicit detail.
Is it
investigation, yeah.
So that's just a 9.
You don't find much of anything, unfortunately. Your final attack seemed to have destroyed most of the items on her body, and desperately looking for any other kind of notes. From that, you find about 70 gold pieces. The other gold pieces are like there's a lot more, but they're just like melted and like congealed together with silver pieces, and it's like a chunk. It's a weird chunk of mixing of metals. It might be worth something, but you can't put a definite value on it right now. And there's a burnt piece of paper as well that seemed to be already crumpled up before it had been burned beyond recognition. And
So I have a lump worth 70 gold, and then...
no, you have 70 gold, and then you just have a lump of other mixed metals that were in her utterly destroyed coin purse. There's also a broken horn that you find on her, and yeah, that's about it.
So broken horn, lump of gold, lump of metal,
And like a very destroyed piece of paper.
can I take her weapon?
Sure.
I'm gonna take the weapon. Be like, Pinky. I'm just gonna right into the bag.
Let me see what her weapon was. Really quickly. Oh, hey, Cleopatra, she's right here. Oh, that's so great.
Could I use mending on the burnt note to try and fix it?
She had 2 blades, a long sword and a short sword. The long sword had the tip of the blade, about an inch of the tip of the blade, is highlighted in just this dull glow of red, and the other short sword has what looked to be like Celtic equivalent runes lining the middle portion of the blade.
Cool. I'm gonna just be like, I'm just gonna put both of them right into the bag of holding. Unless everybody sees me doing this. So if anybody wants to stop me, take these weapons.
We are past distrusting.
I'm saying if somebody
Panky.
wants to use these items.
What would the short sword do compared? Because I have the bone. I have the bone dagger.
Okay.
I would like to try mending on the burnt note though. Like see if that would work for fixing its burntness.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's a cantrip?
Yeah.
You sort of press your finger along the destroyed edges of the note, sort of crossing the length of the paper back and forth, and as your finger leaves its trace behind, the note assembles itself back together as you're almost writing the words yourself as your finger crosses the pages or the page. What the note says, it's a very short note, but it effectively says, ruin the supplies en route to Bresh and ensure that Oren's Obliterate falls before reaching Orbit Gate. He will see the blue skies he so longed for should you deliver good news in the coming days. From just dash Z-A.
Z-A?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess I would like to go to everybody and be like, hey, the note that I found on Cleopatra says, oh, I have an Irish accent. Ruin supplies for Bresh. Make sure they don't make it. Something about someone seeing blue sky that they long for, and it's from ZA. I'm not sure who ZA is, but
Does that sound familiar to me?
No. It would not.
So this woman was on a mission to attack us, to protect someone. Is that what it says?
it just says they will see the blue skies they've always longed for. I have no idea.
Does anybody know who the CA person will be?
Maybe we can ask Vul when we get into the city. He knows a lot of people. I think that would be our best point of contact when we arrive, if he's there.
All right. Well, I think we should probably stick to the mission, and then when we have time to do so, then we'll do it.
Yes, we should most definitely rest here for a bit and try to fix the carts as best as possible.
Yeah, and the artisans who lost a great majority of their work in the stampede are all just sort of like lamenting together, sitting on one of the carts that the Sprinter Hawk riders from the Orbit Gate brought out. Something gently starts to tap on your exposed skin, and rain starts to begin to lightly drop and then pour. That can't help their mood. And 5 Sprinter Hawk riders ride up to your carriages as you're bringing them towards the gate, and they start to approach you, and their steeds' feathers, their Sprinter Hawk feathers are a gradient going smoothly from sky blue to cloud white. The lead rider has like a pure blue Sprinter Hawk, and the far back riders have pure white Sprinter Hawks. The ones in between have more of the gradient colors.
Do they look hostile?
No, they look actually pretty like fraternity.
I throw one of the wood axes at them that Kai made.
I'm thinking about implementing a rule where anything you say happens. There are no jokes in our minds.
I'm like,
There are only
shit!
actions. Yeah.
Oh no.
The riders on top are adorned with ornate silver pauldrons and silver shin plating. They have silver helmets that sort of curve down, or where the grates in front of their face curve down into this beak form. And the leader has a white plume of very thick and fluffy feathers, just sort of like arcing back out of their helmet. And he rides up with everybody else, and he goes, "Oh, you're Oren's Obliterate, are you not? Carnigal sent word of your arrival."
Where is Carnival?
And you see Carnigal in front on his cart still, and he just holds his arm up, and Black Eyes flies down his owl, lands on his arm, and he just sort of like pets it.
Black Ice?
Black
Black
eyes.
Oh.
Black guys.
Yeah, that's Black Ice. So I was like, what?
Black guys fly down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Carnigal's very strong.
No, it's not.
And the rider goes, "I'm Aldous Dashing of the Orbiteers." Then you hear come from the back, "That's us! Stop that, Stephen, now's not the time." And he would say, "I would say, well met, but you don't look so well. Come inside the gate, where you'll find security, rest, and hopefully find a semblance of needed luxury. You all look terrible."
What was his name?
Aldous Dashing. He's very handsome, very dashing.
Thank you. Yes, we could definitely use some rest. You may have seen the skirmish that we were just in out here. We would very much appreciate rest.
Of course. That's what we're here for, to accommodate Oren's Obliterate, a word from Carnigal, and a...
Is this the same guy who was the captain of last time we came?
No, you actually you've never heard of the Orbiteers before. They were not here last time. And the gate also looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit more fortified and robust than it was before. Whereas before it was like this modest just wall that covered most of the road. It has since been turned into a much larger barrier stretching across the plains, between the plains and the forest, or the evergreen forest behind it. It's also been a few more... There's an inside now to the gate, so it's one gate barrier on the Orenbelle side, an inside sort of why can't I think of it? Courtyard, and then the next gate leading to the other side. There hasn't honestly still been that much time in between when you guys were last here, so it's still partially being built, and it's still pretty modest, but it is a little bit beefier than it was before.
So he's the captain, you said?
He's the captain of the Orbiteers.
Yeah, captain of the Orbit, or the Orbit Knights, the Orbiteers. That's all I had. That's the only question I had. All right.
Okay.
How many guards are around him, or did he just come out
4.
by their own? 4,
and they're all on their Sprinterhawks. None of them are walking down. And he goes, "All right then, follow me." And he sort of turns in his own Sprinterhawk, and all of the other 4 behind him move in sync with him. As he turns around and takes the reins of the Sprinterhawk and shifts them to the right and passes by you, you can see the gradient even more vibrant in front of you, and it looks similar to just like a comet sort of slowly arcing and turning around and going towards the orbit gate. Everybody just following?
Yep.
Okay. As he approaches, he doesn't even have to say anything. The gates, just the wooden walls of the gate, their doors of the gate just open for you guys, and he says, "All right, come right in. Make yourselves at home, rest up for the night, and we can decide what you are off doing for the morrow. Or what you'll be off doing for the morrow."
Quick question. Is this a fort?
It's a miniature fort. The walls are about 20 feet high, not super high. Again, the courtyard inside is modest. As you guys are entering through the door, you can see a few horses and sprinter hawks in stables on the right. You can see some lodging on the left. You can see like fighting dummies as well in front of some of the barracks on the left. Pretty much what you expect. Imagine the inside of what's the castle in the north?
Winterfell?
Winterfell. Imagine the inside of Winterfell.
Okay. I was wondering if you had any spare supplies, like healing potions or healing aid, anything. Our battle was quite intense.
Oh, you fear the battle ahead.
Anything will help. Anything.
What are you up against?
A whole city, most likely.
We don't feel a fear battle ahead. We just would like to be prepared for the worst, even though we hope for the best.
Adventure on the rise, I see. Roll a persuasion check.
Could I help with the persuasion check since I said we're preparing for the worst?
Since I said something?
Yeah.
Since words came out of my mouth?
Oh, I'm a noble, so he should love me if he.
That's. I need to start considering that. What? Yeah, do it at advantage.
Do you have persuasion?
But no, well, I do have persuasion, yeah.
Yeah, he looks at you, Herchek, and he goes, "I'm surprised you need any healing items. You look like a veritable beast of destruction."
So I look rough
Like,
as fuck. I have 16 health right now. I look rough as fuck.
Oh, that is. You have 16?
Yeah.
I look like you're 130, just like.
Then definitely roll at advantage, I would say.
This is barbarian, just.
19.
You're fine.
19, so it's 20 not natural.
Those mortal wounds are perfectly fine.
Wait, what is persuasion? Persuasion's charisma? Yeah, 20 not natural.
My family owns a sprinter hawk farm. Every few years, a very rare breed of sprinter hawk comes into being, and their feathers are quite valuable. And so he sort of like lifts open his cloak and he says, "This right here is worth 1,000 gold pieces." And he, there's sort of this orange hue coming from his cloak as he reaches his hand in and pulls out what looks to be like a floating red feather inside of a glass vial. He says, "I would use this if the life of a loved one is lost. Somebody that you could use back on the battlefield, and you need their eyes open."
Is this
Not,
like from the
we're not
like
dead.
if it dies? Or
Yes.
well, I thank you for this.
It seems that your adventures are more grandiose than mine these days, so you could use it more than I can.
Take it from him. Like, if you need anything from me, let me know. I thank you for this.
Just remember the name Aldo's Dashing. And he smiles. Ding!
I look over
Does he-
at
I'd like
does
to
he do the
an
ding?
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead. Roll for it.
And
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll keep it.
Could I look at that and be like, hey, well, you could put that in the Pinky's pocket, but could I perhaps see that book you got from that, what was that thing called that we saw in the forest, that you took the book and just stuffed it into Pinky's pocket, and we never saw it again? A necromancy book, I believe it was.
Oh, you mean the necromancy book that? Yeah, there's a lot behind that you'll never see again.
Could I just ask Pinky that I could just see
Yeah,
it?
yeah, you can totally. Yeah, you just Panky all you want. I'm just saying that
What did you roll, Crow?
was not good. with the kid at the time.
18.
He is telling. Are you just looking to see if he's lying, or just like looking to?
Yeah, I'm looking for like a sneaky smirk or like like
There's surely a smirk there, but it's more of a smirk of.
like we
look-
just met him and he's giving us a revive potion.
You guys are also... Yeah, all of you, I think, are carrying the luminary gems, and you are Oren's Obliterate. They are surely in the service of Orenbelle, the Orbiteers. So you have a lot going for you within Orenbelle. Outside of Orenbelle, somebody giving you an item like this might be questionable, but he is genuine. He is genuine, but there is an air of like rich boy to this guy. Like he doesn't act like he and most of his cohort, but especially him, are pristine. You look at his fingernails and they're perfectly manicured. You look at his he's not like sweating at all underneath his garments. It's silk white that comprises the rest of his uniform.
This is like the Prince's Honor Guard type deal. Like, yeah, you're ready for battle, but you're gonna go to this post over here, far away from the battle.
Yeah, there. You imagine there's not much action that happens at the orbit gate.
Gotcha.
I just realized we're not playing any music.
You didn't even play the intro music. We need to restart the whole episode.
You need to turn on the Wonder Boom.
Can you
10
please turn it on?
slashes.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, what the?
Wonder Boom. Wonder
Shut up,
Boom.
Wonder Boom. Ultimate ears my ass.
Boom, my Wonder Boom. Boom.
So,
Do you wonder why it's called a boom?
Can
Or do you boom?
I ask
The
Pinky
wonder is why. What?
about the book, the necromancy tome that he got from the forest?
Sure.
That he never showed us.
We are in the middle of a conversation with these people.
I don't know, but he just like grabbed this thing. He was gonna put it in his bag, and I was like, "Hey, you could ask Pinky about this thing."
That's not the right output.
Just bringing it up before we get it, because we're close to where. I know we're not. Yeah, we're close to where we got the book from, actually.
You're not really close to it.
Oh, we got the quest to get the book around here, I think.
You're still 2 days' journey from Bresh. Is the Wonder Boom on?
Yeah, and it's sync. You need to change the.
Get good.
There
This is new.
So I have to say real quick. Or check. Remind us when we get back to Orenbelle.
Warren's bell?
That we should examine that potion. We might be able to learn a lot from it.
Will do.
It's a feather.
Primarily probably going to be for you. Just saying.
Are you kidding me? I can dodge anything.
You're quite fast.
You can dodge it right, or you can dodge it.
You can dodge it. I hit him.
You hit the guard. What?
No, I hit Crow.
Oh.
What time is it right now?
Like really, like
Go roll to attack.
18.
It naturally?
No.
Oh, you miss. It was close. You reach out your arm as soon as Crow says, what'd you say? I can dodge anything.
Yeah. You're right.
Anything.
Damn.
See?
Crow.
Maybe tomorrow.
And his eyes are looking at the feather inside of the vial as you're just like, now's my opportunity. Fwah! Throw out your arm. It just like your fist means nothing. It only means air.
It's like Speedo sound Sonic.
All right, I got that.
Whoa.
Get that written down.
Spoiler alert.
Okay. What are you guys?
I'm asking
Doing.
Pinky if I could see that tome. I promise him I will give it back.
Really quickly, were you still in the middle of a conversation, Crow?
I mean, I thought we were talking to Aldos right now.
Herchek was talking to Aldos. You were looking at Aldos. I didn't know that you were in the... Who's in the conversation with Aldos?
I mean, we're all kind of there, aren't we?
I just popped
Yeah,
in
you
and
all
I'm
are.
having a side conversation with Pinky.
Sure. Yeah. So what do you...
No, I was just saying that it might might not be not in character. It might not be appropriate to talk to Pinky right now.
In real life, we have side
No,
conversations
Aldous
when
sort of
people are
like
talking.
handed it to Herchek, and then that was the end of their interaction. You scrutinized Aldous, and
just
then
walked away.
no, he didn't walk away. It was just like a natural time
Here
to.
you go. And
Yeah.
anybody else?
Okay, so then how about? Well, Aldous, we'll see you around. We'll be at the nearest tavern.
Could you point us in the way of the tavern? Which one do you recommend?
And I thought I was well taken care of out here. There's no tavern. We've got a kitchen, where we serve a modest amount of food.
What time is it right now?
It's like
Nighttime?
9,
At
10
night?
p.m. Yeah.
Fuck. Never mind.
What's the
And yeah,
source?
the only light that you see is by the torches lining the inside of the why can I never remember that name? Come on, the courtyard. There we go. The light, the torch is lining the inside of the courtyard. Otherwise, when you try and look out or up, it's all black. It's as though you're surrounded by thick darkness, and the rain is still coming down. It's still pretty light, but you guys are in the elements right now. And yeah, he just points over towards the barracks where the kitchen is, and says, "You can find some ale, some wine if you're lucky, but we don't have much here. Make yourselves at home still. If you find anything you like, make sure you eat a bunch of it."
Do you have any rooms here, or are we planning on staying the night?
Yes, of course. We have some, getting everything
Humble
modest.
abodes.
Yeah.
As far as the carts go, where are they going to be staged, and is security going to be put on them?
Of course. Anything inside of these gates will be secure. We won't position anything outside. We used to have stables outside, but a few of our horses were stolen, and our stable boy
I had nothing to do
left.
with
I think he did it, but still working that out.
Was that us?
that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wasn't it you guys taking that stable boy with
Yeah,
your,
we took him.
yeah, you conned that stable boy into taking stuff with him.
Oh, yeah.
Never paid him once,
Yeah.
but you gave him a nice submission.
He was a
check.
little
I mean,
bastard.
You guys are
He was a little
terrible.
shisty little kid.
All three of you were terrible with children. Killing them.
No, I told them.
Deceiving
I
them?
told them not to touch that horse, and they did.
I don't know. You're fine with children. You're a robot.
He was
Sniffed him,
shisty.
licked him, bit him.
Yeah, it's dim.
Lied about his mom, from what I remember.
I think that there may be a loose creature inside of our gates, though. Not a threat.
What?
Nobody's been in any danger, no harm, but we have noticed that some of our rations have been taken.
What do you mean creature?
I only say creature to cover the wide range of possibilities of who it may be. Could be the boy.
Show me the
Could be
scene
a
of the
rodent.
crime,
I'm gonna do
and
a
I'll
perception
figure it
check.
out.
The scene of the crime is the kitchen where you're headed right now. Go ahead and roll a
Perfect.
perception check. For what?
I'm looking around.
For a creature or boy?
creature.
Okay.
What?
11.
It's the rain is coming down just hard enough to make sort of like trying to perceive anything outside of these walls really difficult, and anything inside of these walls is still active and just like in plain sight enough to not throw off any alarms for you.
Let's go to the kitchen. Maybe the chef knows.
Where I would like to ask him where these rations are, and have all these been taken? Have all of them been taken? Have they found like evidence of animals scratching places or places to get in?
There is a storage locker adjacent to the kitchen where we store all of our rations, of course, but the lock has been broken for some time now, and we haven't quite had time to repair it. But again, it's been small enough to where we don't worry too much about it. But I just felt necessary to let you know.
Why, thank you, Aldous.
Can I go to the the storage house where all this stuff has happened and just like walk into the center of it and use divine sense?
Oh, sure. What does the divine sense do?
So it basically tells me if any celestial, fiend, or undead is within 60 feet of me, behind, but not behind total cover. Like, I just want to see if there's any undead creatures that may have came from brush or anything in nearby. Just at the moment.
Okay. You don't get a blimp. There's no blimps for you, Vark here. Stop looking for blimps. There's no blip on your radar. As you throw your hand out, you almost disappointingly don't sense anything.
Oh, wow.
Can I do an investigation check, but at advantage since it might involve animals?
Like I've already proved it. There's no undead or celestial beings around here. It must be of the living.
Kind of good
Like
degree,
looking
so
for
let's
like
just-
scratch
No.
marks, fine. But I'm still gonna do it.
You could do
At advantage?
No.
Investigation.
Go do it
There's
anyway.
nothing you can do.
investigation work.
My DM powers are withering.
23.
Wow!
Or survival. Survival works as well for tracking.
It's so funny that the whole of Oren's Obliterate is so focused on problem solving that they all just beelined it for the storage to figure out this problem for them.
We gotta protect the cargo.
And
Yeah,
we're protecting Orenbelle because that's our only line of we're safe in Orenbelle's presence. Fresh is our enemy right now. We need to.
Yeah, who are these guys aligned with?
Oren. They're
Orenbelle. The orbit gate is the final barrier between Orenbelle and the outside world. So the orbit gate is run by Orenbelle. It's hard to think on kingdom terms because we don't live in a kingdom, but it's like it is a property of Orenbelle. Outside of the farthest east gate is the rest of the world. The path leading to Bresh, to Capilico, to...
So you're saying a duke runs this area? Like another royal noble or something like that?
Probably a member of the Dashing family.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they are pretty high up, I guess.
All right.
I mean, they're just, nobility. In your travels through Orenbelle, the nobility has been, for the most part, not as high and mighty as most other places. They don't use their titles very well or very, very often. It is just a role that they fill. There's no sort of status that is taken advantage of because of it. Although some people that you've run into, some young people like the Duke's son in the Fancy Main, don't quite understand the full idea just yet. So what you get from your 23 there's a partially cooled version of it, and you see sort of there's one refrigerator and there's one dry sort of unrefrigerated stock, and in the refrigerator you can see sort of these glowing blue sigils that are emanating this cold temperature. You don't find much. You find honestly a very small portion of food missing, but you find one set of, in the refrigerated section, an imprint of the ball of a foot. It's a very small footprint. It would belong to somebody of about less than 4 feet in size. The footprint is not as large as a hobbit or halfling. There are no hobbits, just halflings. A halfling, a gnome, a dwarf. It's not like the stouty kind of footprint, but it's just a small, sort of more lithe footprint.
So lies.
Is it
Lithe?
thin?
A fairy creature?
Thin.
Oh. Sounded like a
Agile.
fantasy creature.
What?
The
Can I-
chef. Sorry, go.
It's about 10. No, the chef is not around.
Would it be appropriate?
But the barracks are close by. You imagine that if there's a chef for this area, they don't drive back and forth from the city to be a chef here.
It'd be weird if they drove.
Yeah, it would be.
Could I start that conversation with Pinky about the book?
Hold that thought.
Would it be appropriate to do a history check on footprints? Any and all prints that I know?
You can just do a survival check for tracking.
Yeah.
Survival makes sense. History does not.
Okay, yeah. Survival. I've looked at a lot of footprints of different animals and humanoids.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, do just a nature. No survival. You're a druid. Shouldn't that be like your
It's not as big.
Your
survival.
peas and potatoes. What is the saying
Meat
for?
and potatoes.
There we go. Wait.
It's a natural one.
Yeah, nature's intelligence and survival's.
It's actually shaped in like it's just the ball of the foot. So, even that is giving away too much information. You just see the ball of the foot, and it's like maybe that's a deer. But no, I know deers. That's not a deer. I've never seen this before. There is a bizarre creature prancing around here.
Maybe somebody was bouncing a ball in here, but
Is there only
personally,
one
I don't
footprint?
see any.
I'm looking in the direction in which the footprint is going and see. I'm gonna follow it. See if I can find anything else.
Roll investigation check.
I actually have a skill called Moody Jazz.
Moody jazz.
11.
11. You walk out of the door and can't find any more footprints, and you're like, well, at least I covered some ground.
I would like to give up immediately and open the fridge and look for milk.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. There's a milk jar or a milk jug, a series of milk jugs that have feathers, just like the plume coming out of Aldos's hat. One has a lot of them have feathers coming out.
Of the milk jar?
Yeah. You know, you look at the context clues, and you would know in this world that sprinter
milk?
hawks are actually, yes,
Ugh.
they produce milk,
That's odd.
and it's yellow.
Sprinter milk.
Oh god. All right. Well, I take it anyway. So.
You wouldn't think that. It's really delicious. Think about it just like normal milk.
It's vanilla.
Ooh. It's like eggnog
Yeah.
because it comes from a berry. And they lay eggs, and it's a sprinter hawk. I'm a druid. I know these things.
It is as thick and sweet as eggnog,
Ew. Okay.
and way more nutritious.
I'm gonna take it to the kitchen to heat it up.
Okay. What's everybody else doing? Oh, Pinky?
I walk away.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Pinky.
I'm on the case, and I'm also gonna walk away. I like to walk the perimeter.
I'm on the case, and I'm going to walk away from the case. Are you looking for tracks?
I'm no good at tracking things, so I'm just gonna basically walk around looking for suspicious activity.
Okay, just patrolling the.
Yeah.
Where are you covering?
The perimeter.
Outside of the gate or inside of the gate?
Oh, inside the gate.
Okay. It's approaching about 10:30ish at this point. You find Herchek
By the dummies.
by the dummies, reading a book. I'm just kidding.
Blending in.
What does this mean?
It's upside down.
Oh,
I
You're more.
flipped like 6 pages.
He's trying to make sense of the notes he had taken earlier.
Bunch of stick figures.
And yeah, you approach Herchek, sizing up a training dummy.
How many training dummies are there? There's something I'm specifically trying to do right now.
There's like 6.
Okay, that's perfect. I'll throw my bag. I'll throw Pinky's pocket D. Talk to Pinky. Talk to Pinky. I got something to D2.
The hand just like reaches out, caresses the ground, and comforts the fall before it.
I'll throw it to the ground. I threw it to him.
Oh, I thought you said you threw.
I threw it to him. I'm not
I
gonna
was
throw
like,
it.
"Brah."
Yeah.
Okay.
The hand comes out and chokes you really quickly.
Oh, Pinky. Not now.
Yeah, you carry the
Okay, so
perpetually moist bag of
I guess I'm
Pinky's
gonna-
pockets.
Pinky, hello. Oh, word. Can I have a word with you for a minute?
Back here, it's been too long.
I know. How are you, old friend?
Up the I've been good. I've been good. You say, Vakir, what say you get me that feather that Herchek got?
The feather. Well, I seem to remember you taking a book a long time ago in
The
a
past is
forest.
the past, Vakir. The feather is now.
Well, I lived a very long time in the past, so my mind kind of wanders there every once in a while. So I do remember certain things, and I remember that book not being too long ago.
The book is the reason I'm so cordial with you all now.
I just want to read it. I'll give it back after I read it.
Do you have anything to offer as a trade, Vakir? Just the snout, the mouse.
You already have my undying loyalty. For a time.
No, you gave that up.
For a time.
A deal is a deal.
Yes.
The debt has been repaid, Vakir. You're free.
Once that debt is repaid, the debt is
And
repaid. But
free men can owe debts again.
I know. That's why I'm saying this could be a renewal.
You're willing to sell yourself to me again?
For a time for this book, maybe. It depends.
We did have good times, you and I, Vakir. What are you willing to give?
I'll see what I can get on this next adventure. But if I get something worthwhile, do we have a deal?
Let me just say you would really like this book, Vakir. It might be a bit too powerful for you, though, you know.
I just... You know my deity, so... I'll see. I'll come back when I have something more tangible.
Pleasure doing business with you.
And I toss the bag back to Herchek. Herchek, back!
What were you doing with the dummies, Herchek?
So I wanted to pull out the
By the way, Pinky wants that feather.
feather. I would have already put the feather in the bag.
Oh, Pinky has the feather.
Oh, you put the feather in the bag? Okay.
He already has the feather. Then why doesn't he need to get it?
I'm sorry, I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't have another bag to put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the Red Tempest hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to rage. And I'm gonna focus as I'm holding it, and I'm gonna focus on the targets in front of me.
Anybody existing in this moment hears sort of like the roiling of thunder form above the orbit gate as you are raging and focusing your energy into the Red Tempest?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like focusing. I'm focusing on the Red Tempest, and I'm looking at like all the targets that are in my area, all the dummies, specifically. At least all that I can get.
Feeling the strengthening emotion well within you, pressing both of your hands against the blade, holding it out in front of you, or the handle of the blade, I should say, holding it out in front of you, and focusing all of your power in it, you see this pinkish electric tendril just curl down almost slowly from the skies and embed itself into the tip of the blade that is the Red Tempest, the small sort of hatchet at this point blade. And it is this perpetual curling, snaking connection between the clouds up top and the handle. From that connection, you can see streaks just jump out from the continual connection and impact into a series of the dummies, and then another one into a series of the dummies, and then all six, there's just six tendrils as you start to see them just like shake and burn the edges and sides of them as they're touching you can see like sparks of pink flare out as they touch the rain coming down as it's trying to connect to other pieces of water and continue the surge of energy. But after a moment of this continual spark between all pretty much every object that you're seeing in the area and focusing on, it just shoots back up into the sky. The sound of thunder still almost waiting.
Waiting?
Wasn't it's just like it hasn't. It's like peripheral energy, if that makes sense. It's you can pretty much call it whenever you want.
I will look at. I'm just gonna look at the Red Tempest. Drop rage, nod, and then walk back with Varkir.
Okay.
What'd you think of that, Varkir?
I was thinking about what I could get Pinky for the book, but that seemed very, very flashy, very light, very.
How do you know?
showy.
What do you want to look at?
I saw light flashes. I
Thanks
know
for
that.
caring.
Oh, you didn't tell me to pay attention. You just said, here you threw a bag at me.
I'm a big Goliath in the middle of the courtyard, covered in lightning. It's kind of obvious.
I was looking away the other. Also, all I saw was flashes of pink behind me. I don't know. Maybe you were lighting fireworks. I couldn't tell.
Whatever. Where's Crow?
Off
Roll a
somewhere.
perception check. As you're making your rounds, you get to the point where you familiarize yourself well enough with everything going on inside of this courtyard. Is there anybody actively avoiding the rain?
No.
I mean, I'm definitely inside.
I guess if there's like a small structure, I'd just be like do, like step back into it and just be thinking like.
Okay, there's almost like a throne of hay made out of this collection of hay by the stables, over or underneath an awning. With a 19, you familiarize yourself enough with the inside of this courtyard to the point where you are just like, meh, I'm just gonna extend my reach a little bit, and you hop up and start walking the outside on top of the perimeter. Get about 20 feet up. You hear this grumble, and you look over and you see this pink light start streaking from Herchek's position, almost like highlighting him as a silhouette. And it's almost standard fare. It's pretty impressive. You haven't seen this happen from Herchek yet. This is a new occurrence. And you appreciate it for a little while, just looking at it, and then you hear this like shift of blue tile. It's this the top of Orbit Gate are all these interconnecting blue tiles arcing downwards across both sides, and you look behind your shoulder and you see this almost like pink hue as the lightning strikes down from behind you. It highlights what looks to be a small silhouette just streak across your vision.
Sorry, how far away?
About 30 feet.
I would like to stealth.
Okay. Roll a stealth check. Okay. You have become a crow. You've become a scarecrow on top of Orbit Gate. Only that you've blended into the background so much that if anybody were to even spot you, you would just be a part of the scenery. A 30.
Yeah, I rolled an 18 and I have plus 12.
Wow. That's insanely.
I'd like to stay at probably like 30 feet away and follow the silhouette. Definitely just observing.
The silhouette was a streak in your vision. It went from one direction to the other. You can pay attention to the direction that it went to, but you're not following it. It was only the flash of Herchek's temporary pink lightning that sort of like crossed across the form of whatever was passing in front of you. After that passed, it disappeared. Does that make sense?
So I can't see it anymore.
You cannot see it anymore, no.
Then I would like to...
But as soon as you did, you just sort of like you crouched down, got into almost like all of your fours, cloak cascading along the tiles, almost imitating the form of the top of this gate.
I'd like to go to where it was.
Okay, go for it. What are you looking for?
The creature.
Did we
It's not
see
there.
where Crow went?
I would say no. Crow would probably operate with a sense of I feel like he would always move to be not seen or stand out in any scene. And then after that happened, especially since you were focused on what you're doing, Crow is nowhere to be seen right now.
I take to the top of the tower and I look for anything out of the ordinary, and that concludes my talking.
Okay. Roll another perception check.
7.
Yeah, you cannot find anything.
Okay. Well, I continue along the perimeter.
Okay. At this point, you hear.
Sorry. I continue remaining stealth.
Okay. Yeah. At this point, you hear like. As you hear. And Zap Dash! At the gates! Open up! I've got a message to deliver! The purple flamingo that Zapdash is riding on, the large purple flamingo, about 10 feet high, is where this small Kenku crow creature has always ridden. You've never seen him off of his steed, his feathered steed. And the gates open. Messenger! Official messenger of Orenbelle coming in! And Zapdash says, I've got a message for Vark here! I heard he was around! It was sent to this very location. If he's not, do you know where he went?
I'd fade into the bushes. I guess if I hear this, I walk out and look at him like,
Ah, fate is on my side!
Sure it is. What message do you have?
And this is, as you recognize, Zapdash, the messenger. Zapdash sort of like takes this paper airplane and he throws it down to you. Does one circle before landing, like coming straight towards you. You catch
It
it,
just hits me in the chest and falls on the ground.
and it gets wet. And he goes,
Pick it up.
"Oh, that's not any way to treat mail now, is
Like,
it?
you technically hand mail to people. You don't.
Well, I'm
feel
too
that.
high for that. And that was a good shot, wasn't it?"
It's raining.
Mm.
It's raining.
My messages are magically imbued, so that
So-
nothing can interfere.
So it shouldn't be wet right now.
Whatever. As you open it up, he doesn't even. It's almost like he's done this so many times. He doesn't care what the message is. He's not going to eavesdrop or anything. He's just like, all right, back to Orenbelle.
You don't
Open
want-
the gates.
You don't want to hear what the message says? Very well.
Well, it's rare that anybody would tell me.
I read it, I guess. If it's okay, I read it out loud. If it's not, then I read it privately and tell him sorry.
Do you read it out loud or do you not?
I want to know what the message is. So I read the message first, then I decide if it's good or not.
Okay, you read the message in your mind, which says, "We've received word that from one of our spies that you have slain the Baroness of Beasts, and we rejoiced. We did to hear that you're finally on your way, your Everness. We must discuss Bresh's destined future. With this arrowhead, pierce the bird of 8 paths when you reach the city of many.
Why'd they give this to me? What is the city of many? What is? I guess I read it to him anyways. I'm just like, all right.
The city of many? There's the city of many paths. I just came from there. Bresh.
Oh yes, but we're going though. So pierce a bird with this. What arrow? This is just a piece.
In the bottom of the envelope there is an arrowhead with what looks like a small bird skull at the base of it, just crossing the flat surface.
I guess I take it and I put it in a little bag of holding. I guess I'll use that to pierce a bird on my way there. Put the note in.
It's nonsense to me. Good luck with that one.
Yes.
Zapdash yes. Away!
Wait, who's this note from?
Can't tell you that. They told me it was anonymous.
Great. A strange letter from an anonymous person. Perfect.
The bottom of it, like where it would normally show the who sent it, it just says the first step of the first child is taken.
Okay. Do they know about the kid? I didn't steal a kid. He came with me willingly.
And Zapdash sprints out of the gate. What are you guys up to?
I'm going to, after a bit, if not seeing anything out in the distance, go to the barracks. Go to bed.
Okay. Her check, go and sleep.
I'd like to move over to the cargo that's being stored and keep watch over it. And then go into basically like hibernate mode. It says that I can rest while standing, basically, as a sentry. I don't like fully turn off. And I can read it to you if you want.
No, that's fine. Do you want to stand fully at attention, or are your shoulders slumped and your head is down?
I mean, I'd like to position myself to where I'm not like right out in the open, just standing there. If there's any like, beams on the ceiling, or like beams running across above, I'd like to like be up there, just so I'm not in plain sight right away.
We're standing.
Wait, are you?
I like to climb up to some beams.
Okay.
Or like a high spot.
Okay.
So that I still have oversight,
okay.
But I'm not in direct line of sight when they walk into where
so just powering down out of line of sight of the...
Yep.
Okay.
Still trying to be sneaky, but provide some security.
Okay, and these are the barracks?
Is that where all the cargo went?
Oh, no, you did say cargo. No, the cargo's being held outside in the courtyard.
Oh, okay. Well, then is there like a tree or something that's nearby, or?
Yeah, there's and you can't tell because of how dark it is right now, but you do, during the daytime, you did see this canopy of, actually, that wouldn't make sense as a visual description. You did see that after the orbit gate is exactly when the evergreen forest starts. So it's the trees start to start now. And there are a few trees within the courtyard. Some have been used as training dummies, but others are just peaceful book reading trees.
Then yeah, I'd like to scale one of the trees.
Okay.
And walk from there.
And nobody in your entire navigation throughout this gate has even given a hint of understanding where you might be.
Great.
Let me make sure. Yeah, no.
It'd be funny if they rolled a natural 20. Well, that's easy.
It's the only thing that would have done the trick. Okay, so powering down for the night, sleeping. Anybody else doing anything?
Going to sleep.
I guess. Let's see. Could I examine the horn that I got from? I guess I want to examine all the stuff that I got from Cleopatra. Like, see what this horn, if it does anything, if it is anything, or if it's just a horn, and seeing if the
Roll an investigation check.
That's a 4.
Now the horn looks real pretty, but super broken. Like you try and make any noise, it just.
The large lump of metal, is it?
You see some silver streaks in there. You see some gold streaks in there. You see some even more silver streaks in there.
So is it just? It's just minerals that are. It's just like melted money.
You can see like forms of silver and gold pieces sticking out of it, but it's all just molded together.
Okay. I thought it was like just like a mineral thing that she just had. I was like, okay, so it's just melted money. All right, so I know that. All right. Sweet, and then I'm just going to. I don't have identify. That's it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
All right, Donkey.
Going to sleep.
You're all. You three are sleeping in the barracks, and you are powering down outside in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Take a long rest.
That's up to you.
Yeah,
It's about 11 p.m. when all of you finally decide to rest.
Take a long rest. Yeah, sleeping.
Oh, everybody's long resting it up.
Yeah. Does that wake up at like 9 or something?
Funky, roll a perception check.
What is going on? Way over 20.
You hear
31.
Yeah.
it's very dark outside. It's still raining when you sort of stir in your sleep. You don't know why. What wakes you upon not what wakes you. What you hear upon awaking is just the pattering of rain across the tiles of the orbit gate. And you hear and the slight pattering of feet before lightning strikes, flashes white light through the small windows that are a part of the barracks, and you see this small shadow form in between the window and the rest of your sleeping party members and the guard, and that the form stays perfectly still.
I'm up immediately.
Do you do
Maybe,
anything?
like, it's just standing there?
Yeah, it's a small form, and it's actually facing the window, looking up.
Okay, hold on.
Did you already mention what color this form was?
No, it's a dark form, and there's very little light. She can just see it's like looking in pure darkness. She now just sees maybe even a creepy outline of a smaller being.
How
I meant
far
like
away is it?
when lightning flashed.
About 15 feet away from you and your group.
Do I
I'm
get an
gonna
opportunity
cast Entangle.
You don't get anything because you're outside. Go ahead and cast Entangle.
Let's see. So it's a strength check. Right? Yeah.
Okay. You see through the wooden slits of the ground, the growing of vines wrapping around this black form and restricting, but they restrict almost as though the form wasn't even there. Actually, exactly as though the form wasn't even there, as the form disappears, and your vines are just intertwined together. And Varkir, you hear, it's all because of you. And
Oh boy. It's haunted.
They're gonna wake up and start killing
Spirit
everybody.
boy.
shit.
How far into the rest? How far into the rest are we when this happens?
You don't know. Thunky's the only one up. Thunky doesn't know.
Is her chick nearby?
Her check is sleeping, but this all happened. I'm just taking time, but this is a split second. So as the shadowy form dissipates and you only see your vines, you hear this this almost term of animosity come from behind you where your sleeping comrades are, and this sinking of a blade. And you see the flash of green come from behind you, crossing the walls, as you turn around and you see this dagger embedding into Varkir's chest, right around where his heart is, with green runes lining the blade, and the green is flashing across this child's face that you recognize as the child that was the stable boy from the last time you were here.
He be dead.
You take 86 points of piercing damage.
I think he should be dead though.
You take 86 points of piercing
I
damage.
think you're dead.
Thunky, you also hear.
I'm dead, like dead.
You straight. You overkilled him like crazy.
I'm dead. Like, that's it.
You're dead?
How can you be
He had
dead?
36 points. You did 86 or 82.
Varkir. That's bad for you. It doesn't. Oh,
my max is 100.
What?
your max is 100.
What?
Then you're not dead. You're not dead.
I only had 30 points of health.
Yes, you are unconscious right now. You in the silent ocean that your mind gravitates to when sleeping. It goes from this soft something in your mind to just blackness. Nothing. It was blackness before, but with this little hint of movement. Now it is pure nothing.
I don't dream.
Roll a death saving throw. As Dunky, you turn around and you turn around and you see Varkir's eyes open and then roll back.
Oh my god. I'm running to Varkir and casting Cure Wounds.
The child is
It's still there?
Is still
Oh,
there.
I thought it ran away.
And he goes, "You!
No!
Where's the old one?"
He's dead.
Roll a deception check.
Is this waking us up?
Roll a perception check.
Natural one.
The glow of the. It's honestly, it looks like a longsword for this child, but in a normal being's grip, it would be just a dagger. There are green runes along the blade, and Thunky, before what happens next happens, you hear this like soft, jazzy voice as your eyes make contact with the blade. It's like, "Now's the time to do it, little buddy."
What?
And and his form freezes in front of you. You can still move. You're still moving around. His form freezes as he like. What do you do in this split second?
Oh god. I'm gonna jump
It's still
behind
dark.
him.
The green from his blade is still sort of cascading on his face, and his face is almost frozen in this maniacal but pleasured look.
I would like to jump behind him and then cantrip Thorn Whip and then like basically try to choke him out with it.
Okay. His frozen form, you jump behind, bring the thorn whip out, and the whip
Of course.
goes into nothing. Roll a dexterity saving throw. Her check, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 14, 15, but -1, 14.
14? You're sleeping. You are heavily exhausted from the previous battle. What'd you roll for your death saving throw?
I said I failed, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Would I be able to?
What'd you roll then? You're outside. With the rain and the elements berating you inside of your tree, you would not know.
A 5.
And your passive is 12, so you really wouldn't know. A 5.
Oh god.
Just let me die.
Just let me die. You take 72 points of piercing damage as you you feel this sensation slide inside of your inside of the mid portion, just like the meatiest portion of your torso, and you feel this warm breath come press down on your neck and your ear as this little child leans in, and he goes, "Who's laughing now, Oren's Obliterate?"
Can I drop to my knees and just be like, "What do you want?"
Everybody roll initiative if you want to do so. Well, we can. What do you want? I want revenge. You ruined my life. And
We
he
didn't
takes
need to.
takes the blade out.
Herjek! Wake up!
Now you can wake up. And now everybody rolls initiative.
Do I roll?
Even me?
You would have to roll initiative just to understand where, like, what you can do and where and when.
I would just go
Natural.
last, already
Roll
Tweezy.
another death saving throw.
failed.
Ooh wee! Funky, you are the Varkir's eyes were already rolled over. You have just been stabbed.
I rolled a 19.
19. Okay. You are up next. What did you roll? Hercheck?
Natty.
Natural 20? Natural 20?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hercheck, you are up now. You are on the bunk bed on top of Varkir, we'll just say. Would you be a top or a bottom?
I'd be bottom.
Okay, then you're across from Varkir on the bottom. Thunky is in between both bunk beds, and Varkir is unconscious on the other side as you open your eyes and you see a form of the little child that you're vaguely familiar with. You can't even quite make sense of the scene that you're looking at. A form standing still, and then the same form of the child pressing a blade into Thunky, ripping it out, and then turning, just running under Thunky's upheld arms and just running away.
I'm coming to
1 second. Okay, so 20. So her check.
Okay, fine. 1 second.
Farkir, what'd you roll?
I didn't roll. I
Just roll anyway.
I
Roll
go
anyway.
last since I'm unconscious.
Good point. You go last. Crow.
13.
Okay.
13.
Okay, her check. What are you doing?
Take everything in for a second. I see the kid running out of the room.
Yes, and the frozen image of him disappears.
But he's still running out of the room.
He's still running out of the room, yeah.
I'm going to run after him with so much rage. And
You raging?
yeah, mid-run, roaring as loud as possible to wake up everybody I can chasing down this kid. And I'm going to shoot as we're running, just right at him. Just a pillar of lightning.
Okay, do you roll or does he roll?
I believe that he rolls a saving throw. Let me be sure.
If he does, he rolled an 18. Naturally.
No, it's just an attack. And I will do that recklessly. Can I do it recklessly?
No.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
If you threw the axe, you could.
I have 3 fucking axe. 15.
15 hits. Just
Sweet.
barely. Nice.
9. Do I add anything to that?
No, there's no like additional. It's just what the dice rolls.
Okay.
It may say plus something though.
No, it just says 3d6.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so dual purpose. I just wanted to strike him, and then hopefully it causes a lot of noise. Just trying to cause a lot of noise right now to wake people up.
Roll a performance check.
Do I get advantage since I'm doing all this shit?
No, because it's raining outside. It's thundering outside.
Rain.
You know the natural one.
It's the first natural one for
We're
a while.
doing well tonight.
Do a lightning attack though?
He did, yeah.
Should that give me an advantage?
Can I roll perception to see if I picked up on that?
That will be the only. You can certainly roll perception on your turn.
I mean, this is in a hallway, lightning pillar.
The
Whatever.
The rain is a natural. It just in general like
Natural rain?
is a natural dampener of sound. So the fact that it is raining right now makes it harder for anybody outside of your immediate area to hear what's going on. Anybody inside of the barracks that you're in, you hear the sort of like shuffling and ruffling of blankets, boots, sort of like grunts of people wondering what's going on, but there's no immediate call to action just yet. Okay, Thunky, you are up.
I'm gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds.
You're gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds?
Yeah, on
Okay.
both myself, Barkier, and is her check within 30 feet?
Yes, yeah.
Then him too.
Okay, go ahead and roll to heal as you... The blade inserting itself has caused so much sort of like physical trauma to you that you understand that now if you don't do something along these lines, either you or Varkir could potentially die. And so just out of that fear, you end up saying the words that you need to cast the spell and moving your hands in the appropriate manners. And as the room was lit up with green before from a menacing source, now it is lit up with green from a healing source coming from Thunky, as sort of like flowers grow and cross around your bodies. Herchek, you just like continuing with your movement towards the boy are ripping some of the vines apart as you're moving forward, but they are still revitalizing you with positive energy because you still have not completed a full rest.
It came out to 17.
17?
Okay.
So you are healed
Oh,
to 1 point, right?
Yeah.
take away death save.
Okay, so the boy, as he's running for the door, his form freezes once more. He grabs one hand onto the door handle, pulls it open, and his form freezes.
To the barracks again?
Yeah.
Is anyone between me and him?
No, you are the closest person to him. Crow, you're up.
I would like to roll perception to see if I saw the green flashes or the lightning within the house. Or
Do it. Do it. Roll,
Do it.
baby.
Nine.
You're so focused on the cargo that you can't quite. Nothing calls to your attention outside of that. Varkia, roll another death saving throw.
Hmm?
Why?
You've only rolled 2 so far.
He's got
I
healed.
cured him?
Oh, I'm sorry. Foolish oversight on
Just
my
trying
part.
to kill everybody.
Welcome back. You are utterly confused as your eyes open from the most confusing, deep dream you've ever had. You wake up from a comforting void turned into an alarming yet also potentially alluring void itself. A void you have seen that is more convincing than anything else that you've experienced so far. And you now come back to the real world. It's almost a disappointment. But you see this frozen form at the exit, holding the door open. This little boy with a dagger, a large dagger in his hands with glowing green runes.
Can I ask a question really
Can I go and take the dagger from the kid's hand?
1 second. Yes.
So, does he freeze every single time there's a lightning flash? I'm just trying to remember if you said that there was a lightning flash when he froze at the door, because there was a lightning flash at the window when he froze.
Roll an intelligence check.
Can I do that right now?
Yeah. That'll be like, you haven't used a bonus action, so that'll be a bonus action. It's hard to piece together from what you know. You think it could be the lightning strikes, but you don't have enough information currently to prove whether or not it is.
Okay.
Can I take the dagger out of his hand?
You can try. As you jump out of bed and rush past Thunky, reaching your hand out towards the frozen, boyish form, it passes through nothing.
The dagger? I wasn't going for him, I was going for the dagger.
Yeah, it passes through nothing.
Passes through the
So
dagger.
the form that is being shown, you move your hand towards the dagger, and your hand passes through his entire hand. Even where you know the dagger's hilt would be, your fingers brush through. You move your hand to the side once more, and the kid's form just disappears. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
10.
You don't have a plus
No.
to your dexterity? Okay.
And I'm dead.
You're dead?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He's most likely dead.
I have 1 point of health.
God, I missed.
No,
what
you
I
got
had.
15 points. Or however many she healed.
When
Oh, I did heal
when
you
you
for 17.
come back to life here, I think you only get 1, and then you have to make the.
When you get a potion or anything that heals you a certain, like 26, you would get 26 health points.
Does it spare the dying that gives you 1?
Yes.
But still,
Dude, these are so hard, the ones that Hunter gave me. Luckily, it just rolled a 1.
Thank goodness.
It's hard to read. That's a 6.
Pretty sure that was a 1. I don't want you cheating over here.
1. It's 5.
Get
Okay.
in or out, dude.
He's like a
It doesn't really matter,
I'm
but you do
dead.
take 60 points of piercing damage.
Dead.
God.
Say 60?
60, yeah.
Why is his dagger so? He's like
And,
a
and,
level
and
30
Funky, as you
ghost.
see the form of the kid disappear from the door, you see another form of the kid appear behind Varkir, thrusting the blade inside with like his knees are like bent inward, and he's just like thrusting it in as hard as he possibly can. It doesn't seem skilled whatsoever. It seems like the blade is lurching forward towards Varkir, and you hear, "Yeah, that's right, baby. Deal the devil, yeah."
Why?
Nobody else hears this. Okay. Then you see your companion, who is newly reinvigorated, fall down to the ground once again. Varkir, roll a death save. Or so, I'm sorry. No, it was you. Her check, you're up.
I'm gonna try to catch up with the kid.
Okay, go for it.
At 40 feet
40 feet?
is my travel speed.
Yeah, no, he well within your 40 feet.
Oh,
It's 20 feet between you and the door.
Oh, sweet. I'm gonna come up to as I'm like getting closer. I'm gonna jump. As I'm in midair, I take out the Starlight Conqueror and I'm fucking swinging it as hard as I fucking can at this kid.
I'm right next to him.
It's a different kid.
No, it's the same kid.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I ran after the kid.
Yeah, so the kid that you originally ran after, who opened the door, Varkir jumped up, tried to grab the dagger, and that form disappeared. The same form that disappeared appeared behind Varkir
Like
and inserted the blade.
Like, I'm Mr. Detective, he appears behind
Oh,
me.
so fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
substitution
slicing
jutsu.
straight down on the kid.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
It's gonna be reckless.
Okay.
No one. No runs.
19 for the first one.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 19 for the first one, and then 16 for the second one.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Or, sorry, yeah, roll damage.
Did they both hit?
The second one, yeah, both of them hit. Just roll damage for your first one first.
10, 15, 19, 21.
Points of damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Make a dexterity
As
saving
you
throw.
slice across his back, the blade inserting itself at least 4 inches into his flesh, slicing cleanly down his spine.
17 points of damage for the second one, and then make it again.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, thank God.
Bisecting him in half. Before I say that, I'm like, get your own revenge.
Okay, just like jumping up in one single swoop, sinking the blade down in between his neck and his shoulder, just carving down, gets about halfway to his, like, the midpoint of his rib cage, just breaking bone, bisecting all the way down through his pelvis, and he splits, and you hear, "Oh, that's not cool."
Where do I hear a direction?
Ding, ding, ding. No, just in your. It's like coming from everywhere. And the kid's a lifeless form, his bisected lifeless form, just blood pooling out of the open flesh.
So I'll drop rage. We're at a combat now.
Yeah.
Okay. I drop rage and just go. Work here. Why does he look really familiar?
I can't hear you. I'm unconscious.
I give him my
Roll another
last.
death saving throw.
I'll walk over and give him my last normal potion.
Failure.
I can cure wounds.
Okay, that's fine. She'll do that. As I'm about to pour it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over and cure wounds on Varkir.
Okay.
And as soon as he comes back to consciousness, I'm gonna grab him by the shirt, like, why does he look familiar?
He shouldn't look familiar. I mean,
Kinda looks like the kid
all the
from the stables.
The kid from the stables should be dead since I turned him
Yeah,
into a
he should
zombie.
be dead.
So
Why is he
should
here?
Be dead. There's no.
I'm sorry, this looks like the kid from these stables who tried to steal from you and trick you, and then
So why is it my fault? It would be their fault. They're the ones who did it to him, not me.
you were all in cahoots.
Whoa.
Except for you, Herjag. You didn't have much to do with it.
Well, now he comes back, I do. I don't think that will be possible. I'm gonna search I'm ripping his clothes apart, finding anything I can on this kid. Don't care.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
Is that
You also got
advantage?
healed for 20 points.
Advantage?
Why advantage?
Because I'm literally ripping apart his clothing, finding anything. Like, there's not going to be anything.
There's no advantage. You would imagine you would do as thorough of a job as you normally would.
I'm
There's no
ripping
point.
his clothes apart. 15.
You find a few pieces of coin, 7 gold pieces, 6 silver pieces, 13 copper pieces, and resting by his inside of his grip still is this. It almost looks like the blade is made out of stone, like almost like unformed stone that comes to a very jagged point. There are runes, small runes, crossing the entirety of this stone blade, up and down. You can't quite make sense of them.
Is the hand still gripping onto it?
The hand is still gripping
I
onto it.
chop off the hand.
Okay. Just like onions.
I pick up the hand that's holding the dagger.
Yeah.
And then I put it on a table and go, well, what is this?
Can we do an investigation check?
Sure.
I'll test this out right now. I just
The changes, huh?
touch the blade with one finger. Ding.
One finger.
On the handle, yes.
I
Hello?
also got a
No blade?
26.
No
One
blade.
second. For investigation.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a almost like a very foreign blade to you. The runes look nefarious in nature. You can't quite read them yourself, but how they're structured and what you know of sort of like the natural world and the natural runes that you work with, these are more twisted in nature. That's all that you can make of it. Varkir, do you touch the blade with your finger, or do you
I touch the handle with my finger, like, boop. Hey, just see if it's doing anything to me.
You hear this soft, jazzy voice enter your brain, and he says, "Are you my new master?"
I pull my hand away. It's like, maybe, but this blade can talk, everybody.
We should destroy it. It looks
We
extremely...
won't
I
destroy
hold out
it.
my hand
We
like,
won't destroy it.
Let's not destroy it.
I grab the blade completely, just to see.
Oh,
What?
God.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
It's gonna be
Oh.
No,
dead
as
for
his
the-
hand's reaching, like, to go grab it, can I grab his hand?
Are you kidding me? No, I got like a 30. It's
Roll
18.
a dexterity saving throw.
What?
But roll
So
a
18 plus
contrasting
8.
dexterity check.
What do I...
Her check. You are rolling as well. You are
What am
rolling
I
a dexterity to see if you're faster than him.
Okay.
That's a 9, I guess.
I wouldn't get advantage on this, right?
No.
Yes. 16.
You won. I got a 9.
What are you doing, Varkir?
You're touching the blade now, though. So
You're not grabbing the blade.
You just grabbed it.
No, he beat
I'm
you to
grabbing
the
your
blade.
hand. I'm grabbing your wrist before you grab the dagger.
Here's how it works.
I-
Because he rolled before to a wisdom saving throw, he already grabbed the dagger. You grab his wrist as he grabs the dagger. You hear the jazzy voice pool into your brain once more.
I got a 36 though.
You
on my check. So.
Yeah, I know. You can. There's no you're not feeling compelled at all, but you hear. You're a bit different than the previous master.
We mean the little boy.
And you sort of see his. Are you talking out loud or?
Yes, I'm saying it out loud and trying to communicate.
Do I hear this?
You, of course, yeah.
I'm
Now, you
repeating.
don't hear what the
Blade.
voice said. What the blade says. You do though, Thucky.
It should be destroyed. There's this weird, creepy, jazzy dude.
Don't listen.
He's talking to him.
What's
I
jazz?
have it under
Back here.
control, I believe.
Come.
I have it under
What's
control.
your name?
I'm not going to give you my name just yet. What's your name?
Oh, it's a partnership.
What's your name, though?
You give me yours,
It's
I'll
the
give you
devil.
mine.
Some call me the Fallen. What is yours?
Fallen's no name.
It is. It's a title. I don't give my friends names. I'm sorry, but this partnership you'll have to wait until we're a little further along to give you my name. Unless you give me yours.
Not a fan. Not a fan. It's a two-way street.
It is a two-way
buddy.
street, so somebody has to give way first. But that should be the person who's, who just, got rid of their last master by putting him in a fight he couldn't win.
I'm gonna need to know a little bit more about you.
It'll take time. It will take time. Until that time, I'm going to just put you in this bag.
You just feel coldness from the blade. No longer anything in front of or in your mind, just coldness.
This blade doesn't like me, so I guess I'll just use it.
Oh, it seems so evil. Nobody else
Just
touched
regular
that blade.
stone rune dagger.
Now it's a regular blade, so I'm just gonna.
Wait, it just went back to a normal blade?
It didn't like morph or physically change at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Just like any sort of green tinge to it just disappeared.
Left?
Yeah.
So whatever spirit was inhabiting that just left.
You can think that. It could be any number of things.
I'm just gonna drop it into the bag of holding I have. But just like, all right, that blade is. We'll grab that later.
All right. And the one of the guards rounds the corner and he goes, "What just happened? You killed a boy. You killed a boy.
He nearly
He
killed us.
our party members. Where
He
were
killed
you?
Varkir
Where were you?
twice.
As we were yelling.
I was
and we
sleeping.
were. Oh yeah.
Not killing boys.
Who are killing us?
He just like looks around and you all look relatively, but like you guys look a little beat up still, but better than when you arrived.
I look worse than when I arrived. I have less health than when I arrived.
Oh.
I'm down by 16 points.
He was just
Well,
killed
if you've got
twice.
problems with children beating you up, I mean, there's nothing we can solve.
I push him out of the room. Like, go fucking get. What is the name?
A mop.
Fucking go get Aldos now.
Roll an intimidation check.
Oh boy.
Wait, is it just
So-
persuade? Is it?
Yeah. I guess I want to like poke Pinky's butt and be like, "Hey, Pinky, is that sword good enough, or do you need more?"
19.
19.
All right, man, it's late. You're so pushy. All right, fine.
He just sort of like rubs his eyes and like gets his boots
I just
slowly
yell,
on and
Go!
starts like hobbling out with one boot on his foot. Opens the door and you just hear gloss. Oh. Anybody doing anything in the meantime? And you do see this, Crow. You see a guy with one boot just like running frantically out of the barracks, and he doesn't even really know where he's going right now. He's just like, you see him like run out of the barracks and like look to the left and like put a hand on his forehead to try and look out, and then like run to the other side of the barracks and like put a hand on his forehead. He goes, "Oh, Dose! Oh, Dose, we're looking for you!"
No, I'm gonna stay put and just keep watch.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna, observe what happens from the outside from the tree.
Okay. You see a white blur pass over the gate, and the wings of the Sprinter Hawk flutter outward as Aldos, on his Sprinter Hawk, has leapt over the gate walls and runs over to the guard, and he goes, "What's up? What has happened? Why do you summon me from my..." Man, that is a loud...
Yeah, it's a big truck who's parking
out
in front of
there.
our house.
Yeah. Real
Close the
small.
window.
Real small.
Sorry, guys. We've got a guy with a real big truck outside. Huh? Yes, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back in a moment of airily. All right. Welcome back, SASAns, to the infamous game of SASAns and Dragons. When we last left off,
Varkir and Thunky almost got murdered by a tiny little child wielding a tiny little blade. Herchek bisected him in half, and now Aldos comes to the rescue. You see you hear this like this scraping against the wooden outside of the barracks that you guys are sleeping in, and you see the door just like almost explode open, and from the doorway, the beak of Aldos's Sprinter Hawk, which, by the way, for anybody watching, Sprinter Hawk is just a chocobo, all right? You know, just picture a chocobo. From Final Fantasy, it's the chicken creatures. The baby full-grown chicken creatures that you can ride. And so the beak sort of leans down, and Aldo sort of like leans his head down to where he can just barely look inside of the barracks. And he goes, James was saying something very odd to me. You had killed a child and asked for help.
I did not ask for help, but I point the Starlight Conqueror at the kid like...
Ugh, it's disgusting. Why would... Oh... Him. Well, mystery solved. We found our burglar. You didn't have to murder him, though, you know. You just stole a few things.
No, we had to murder him.
He stabbed Varkir in the heart.
He killed him twice.
Roll a persuasion check at advantage. You're trying to say that a little boy that's now bisected...
Hold on. The other one was a 7.
It's just so hard to believe.
Varkir, pull out the dagger.
What?
Believe
what is
me,
with this your
we
Everness,
didn't
though? This
want
note? Is that
to kill
is
him.
that talking about me, or who is that talking about?
The note was delivered to you.
It says your Everness.
That's peculiar.
Varkir, pull out the dagger.
I guess I reach in and I touch the dagger to see if the creature's awake again.
Still dormant.
Pull it out. Yes, this is the dagger. It was a lot more menacing when it was actually awake, but...
So the
Like
kid
a crude piece of stone.
had this dagger in his hand, and we all heard a voice come from it.
Are you safe?
He wanted revenge, but yes, we are safe now.
Well, thank goodness. Hopefully our stores will no longer be raided. I maybe maniacally pray that he was the cause of our missing rations, and it has been solved. Thanks again to Oren's Obliterate, though I still have my doubts about the situation.
Well, maybe if you were here, it would change, but we don't need
Would you want me to sleep next to you, Herchek?
I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't be against it. My husband left me.
Wow. What the fuck? And I just like, wait, hold up. What, Thunky? What happened?
Well,
I thought we went over this.
We
Like,
can discuss
2 games
these
ago.
No, Aldos, you need to be here for this.
On the morrow, we can discuss these matters. The next time you guys visit the Orbit Gate.
So, can we finish our long rest?
I grab...
Is there anything you need from me?
Yeah, I pick up the 2 pieces.
That's Please throw that away in the nearest dispensary. Where you dispense garbagery.
I drag it outside of the fort and
Can I kick it?
toss it.
As you're dragging it, can I just do like a little like...
Yeah, you're
out of
kicking
the
you're
the
kicking
entire
this
fort.
nude child that's bisected.
Yeah, his clothes
No,
just
well-
with the congealed blood just sort of
Yeah, and
stay on the
he's got
ground as
nothing
the
to like
body is
hold
It was a
on
little
to.
asshole, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not dragging him by his arm. My hand's inside of him.
Gross! That's too far.
just like grabbing like loose lungs and like dragging him by
spinal
the
cord,
the
his
lungs.
Ribs or something like that?
liver.
And then as soon as I get out of the fort,
you're
walking a little bit out, like probably like 30 feet
Just like-
outside the fort, in some bushes, toss his body.
Putting him together, taking him apart.
You
Yeah,
hear,
you're
like,
just
some
out
whispers,
back
like-
mending him.
Everybody says like in the news, Oren's Obliterate they saved Orenbelle and they did all these incredible things. But I've also heard that they're kind of crazy.
Do I hear this?
Yeah,
There are a few
it?
people just whispering, like some of the guards, as you open the gate. The gate opens like real slowly, before you throw it out, and as you walk out and throw it out, the gate like closes a little bit, like it's gonna lock you outside, but then it like opens back up.
But I do hear it.
Yeah.
As I'm walking back inside, I'm just gonna like say, kind of to myself, just put out loud. It's like, when you actually go out and do stuff for once, you kind of encounter this kind of shit, and it makes you look like this. So, and I just keep walking to the barracks.
Roll just a straight charisma check at advantage.
8. Man, these are terrible tonight. This one's getting real getting close to going to the
Well,
bed
thank
away.
God I'm behind this gate and I've got to experience things like that. Boy setting children. Quite fucked up, you ask me. But you guys are the heroes of the day.
Are you part of the Orbit Knights?
You're not there.
No, it's like this crotchety guard that's actually just sitting on a box on the inside of the gate.
Oh.
He looks like he's like mid-60s. And like super salty, just doesn't give a fuck about really anything. And
But he gives a fuck about this?
yeah, he's just judging you guys.
That's fine.
He doesn't care about his own situation. He doesn't care about him. He's more just judging. So it's about 4 in the morning.
Could use some more sleep, I would say that. If you could, maybe post a guard outside or something while we take a much needed rest before we're on our way.
The only reason I believe you is because we did. There was a guard.
Where is he now?
Just like points to the guy who's like holding his
Is he like asleep on
no
something? He actually watched all that and didn't do anything.
He's pole arm. There we go. He's holding his pole arm, just like looking back, like, oh shit, something happened.
Wow.
Is
Do I have a glove?
Really?
Do
Yeah.
I have any gloves?
Do you have any
Can
gloves?
I have gloves, please?
I mean, are they special gloves?
No,
Or are they
they're just
gloves?
leather
Put
gloves.
on some leather
Yeah,
gloves.
you
I'm
can
gonna
have
walk
gloves.
over there and I'm gonna slap him in the face with a glove.
Oh! Actually, roll to attack.
is Aldos I don't know, is Aldos still near us?
Yeah, he's still like ducking his head inside
As I'm walking back up.
as he makes room for you to come past him and enter the barracks once more.
Slap the
And I
shit out
overheard
of him.
like that this dude was supposed to be our guard.
Slap his face
I-
right off
I-
of his face.
Aldos, who is above you? Who is the chain of command? Is
He's the captain.
Bobby in charge of this area?
Yes, Bobby would no, not this area. I'm fully in charge of this area, but I do report weekly to Bobby.
It's good to know. Thank you. What is his name? The guard?
Percival.
Thank you.
His perseverance knows no bounds. We can see.
Wait, what happened? What are you guys talking about behind my back?
I
Important
did
update over here.
roll a natural 20 to hit him in the face with a glove.
Yeah, and as he like turns his stupid little like
Stupid
not paying
Percival
attention face towards you guys. What are you talking? Just like you hear a snap
Jeez.
as like it's the scene from the last punch in the Matrix Revolution. Is it Revolution?
Whoa.
Have you seen this?
Sure.
Luna?
Or it's just boom.
Yeah, it's just the slow motion entire glove presses up against his face and sends waves reverberating throughout the rest of his face. It's just like a tooth slowly in slow
Wow.
motion just like flies out of his mouth, and he spins around, hits his head on the stone, and slides down to the
My
ground.
God.
And Aldo says, "Okay, well,
Can I just say,
He didn't
like,
do his job very well.
I'm gonna be like, get another guard over here now. And then I'm gonna go back to bed and get under the covers.
I'm so sorry this happened. Right away, Oren's Obliterate. I do hope that you have a very successful and comfortable journey early in the morning, leaving out of these gates. It was
Early in
great
the
to
morning.
early, right? You were leaving early.
We're postponing our ride a little bit because we need to meet.
I'll be making my rounds. Be comfortable and safe, and
I'll see you all those dashes.
And just goes away.
Nobody likes dealing with this.
And another guy, like one of the sleeping guards, just like drags the guard that you slapped into the barracks and just like puts him on his empty bed.
I'm gonna grab his halberd. Can I have this?
Just taking everybody's weapons.
You clearly you guys just take what you want. It's fine. Whatever you need. Yeah.
I'm gonna borrow this. I give him 10 gold. Here's 10 gold. Does that cover the amount for this halberd? We need some supplies. We definitely need some supplies.
For Percival's halberd?
Yeah. This is his personal halberd? This is his personal halberd.
It's for Percival's halberd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good enough.
I'm going to give this to Percival. I go over to his unconscious body.
Hey, you didn't roll an insight check. You don't know if he's lying to you.
I'm going to go to Percival and be like, here's your gold. And leave him a little note saying, paid for halberd.
And the guard that's taking his place is just like sighing while taking his attire out of the chest next to his bed, throwing on his armor, just like slowly clipping it in, but also keeping a side eye at you guys, just making sure that you guys aren't making any fast movements in his direction. And
Best one.
He opens the door to the outside in front of you guys. And looks outside and then looks back to you guys and like gives a shaky thumbs up.
I will look at him and be like,
"Are we good to go?"
And I'm gonna be like, "Are we good to go? Are we gonna have issues like the other guard?"
Not under my watch, Herchek.
So I like to hear.
I got your back.
Thank you.
And he closes the door and just like walks outside, takes up his position. Okay.
Going back to bed.
Thug, you roll another perception check.
Oh god.
I'm just kidding. The
kid's back.
The night goes by without any more events. When are you guys intending on waking up?
Whatever, long rest and
rest. 8 hours.
Remember, based off of your constitution, so 8 hours is the full long rest. Whatever your constitution modifier is, take that many hours off of how long you have to sleep for.
Mine's 4 hours.
So then you...
No, I mean like I can take 4 hours off.
Yeah, so you are perfectly fine. At like 8 a.m., you're up and good to go.
3 hours.
3 hours? What's your constitution?
I said +3.
Same.
So you
Then
can only take
it
6 hours.
would be 5 hours.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, mine's 3, but I only need 6 hours.
What?
So my constitution modifier is +3, but I only need 6 hours for a full rest.
He's a monkey.
That means you only need 5.
He can meditate.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry. These are homebrew rules. So your constitution modifier, the number that you have, is the amount of hours that you take off of your sleep.
Right.
It is a total of 8 hours, meaning that if it's 8 hours and you have a +3...
long rest for me is only 6 hours.
I'm sorry. This is what I'm saying. It's better for you this way. It's only 5 hours because a long rest is 8 hours. You have a +3 to your constitution, meaning you take 3 hours off of your rest.
I think
so. You only need 5.
It's a monk thing.
I think he's asking if he takes 3 hours off of the 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the.
Oh, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's totally my bad. If it's... Yeah, sure. Only 3 hours.
You're a warforged, so I mean, technically you're just...
Yeah, I was under the impression that you didn't even need to rest. But as a warforged.
You have centuries
I
resilience.
basically don't have exhaustion, and so...
yeah, so it's 3 hours for you.
Centuries rest just basically means I only need 6 hours for inactivity, but I can see and hear normally.
So yours is 3 hours. Varkir, how long is yours?
I need 7 hours. So that's probably more.
7 hours. Hutchik.
Maybe 5 hours.
5 hours. Thunky.
4.
Wow.
Oh my god. Flowers.
Same day delivery for flowers.
What?
What?
Are you saying flowers now?
Flower.
I am. Okay. You all come to relatively early. We'll say you all collect at about 10 a.m. in the morning, a little bit later than normal. It was a long and very arduous night for you. The cloud is still a bit, the sky is still a bit overcast. There's still a trickle of rain left over from the storm last night. Herchek, you got a wonderful sleep when you did sleep. That's why it took you so long to actually wake up as your party members were being murdered, but it's okay.
Sorry, woke up.
Because you bisected a little boy, so it's okay.
Yeah. As long as it flows.
You hear the the squawking of the early routine of the orbit ears. Practicing in the courtyard and again and move it at all.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You just moved the cord.
Got jealous that Minna was near.
Some of the cooking and chattering of people still getting breakfast from the cook, people training. 10 a.m. is pretty late in the morning, it seems, for this, for the orbit gate. What are you guys doing?
Make breakfast.
I'm gonna go meet up with the group.
Okay, at breakfast. Again, modest breakfast, about 3 eggs. The female cook does not take alterations to egg orders. It is always sunny side up.
Could I pull something out of the bag of menacing things?
Just anything?
I
Why?
just want to try and pull something out.
Okay, roll a d6.
For what reason?
Rami.
So that's a
5.
6. No, it's
6.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6.
6.
It's a 6?
Yeah.
That's a 6.
You can see it's everything on top is what it is. So 3 and 3 is 6.
Oh, okay. Your hands wrap around this leathery cylinder. As you squeeze in tighter, it doesn't actually provide any resistance for you. And you pull it out, and it's also like kind of slick, and it's this tiny little worm with a line of like a circular row of teeth. It's like
Is it like in a, it's in like a circle thing?
yeah. And like this, another cylinder of flesh comes out of its mouth, and another circular row of teeth come out.
Oh my god. Do I see this?
Yeah.
Can I just be like, Mercure, it's too
This is
early for
yeah, like
this.
he's across the
It's
table as
too
you're
early.
shoveling some eggs into your mouth.
Where would you
Please.
And you like you rub your
Oh,
eyes,
that has
and now Barkir has
a
this
ring in its
leathery,
mouth of, like,
disgusting worm in his
Teeth, and it
hands.
pops out with a little face that has
It's
more teeth.
disgusting.
I'll just be like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
wrap it around the top of the halberd, I guess, if I can.
What?
Like there's the blade of the halberd, the point of the halberd, and the back part with that just has the spike usually.
Yeah.
I want to take the worm and like.
Roll an animal handling check. It's not even an
I'm
animal.
just gonna
I don't know.
get up from the table and move to a different table.
Ooh. So that's 13. Like.
It keeps trying, like the smaller mouth keeps trying to nibble at your hand.
Gross.
And when you think you finally have like a point of stability as you're wrapping it around the larger blade portion, it just like bites into your like in between your thumb and your pointer finger. Roll a Constitution saving
Oh,
throw.
you probably have so many diseases now.
That's a 1. Although I'm immune to diseases.
2 diseases. Are you
Yes.
immune to poison?
I'm not immune to poison, I don't believe.
God damn it. You take 6, 8, 11, 12 points of poison damage.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna come over from my table.
As the multitude of teeth sink into his flesh and just like almost like it's suckling on its mom's teeth. It just and green pus is just like
gross.
As the teeth embed inside of his flesh, some green pus is exiting his flesh as well, and some green veins spider down. And your hand feels numb at first, and then this burning sensation starts to pierce through the numbness.
I'm eating my breakfast watching this happen.
I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna put my hands on his arm.
Unconcerned.
I'm gonna be like, what did I just say? It's too goddamn early in the morning for this Farkir, and then I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
But I just wanted to see what...
Wow.
Everything I pulled out of this has been interesting. I just wanted to see what... I wanted to see what I could pull out if,
Whatever it is, it's too much.
I had that, yes.
Unfortunately, it's only 6 points of healing.
Exactly half of what you took.
2.
Nope, can't make heads or tails of it. You just reached your hand in and another weird creature came out.
I was like, well, I guess, Can I finish wrapping it? Or did I finish or did I not finish?
It's not like...
so unconcerned.
It's constantly moving.
Look at that.
So no, as it bit your hand, it was like it was still fiddling with items around it and still sort of playing with its new environment outside of the bag of menacing things. There's no like you can wrap it around, but it just like slowly tilts off and is about to fall, and then you grab it and sort of like put it up, wrap it a different way, and it just like goes along the blade and is just leaving.
Can I ask the shopkeeper for like a bottle of vial or something?
Yeah, the cook looks at 2 things of 2 jars of flour, opens one, opens the other, just like dumps the rest of the jar of flour out in one, and just like.
Does it have a ceiling top on it?
Yeah, it's got one of those like.
Okay, so I open that up and I just take the rubber and just boom, put it in the bag of holding.
Okay. All right, so now, okay.
I'm like, that didn't work out so well. I'll save that for some other time.
A rainy day.
Just took out a thing from the bag of menacing things and put it into your bag of.
But it's in a jar. It's sealed.
Slowly gonna.
Yeah, you don't know if that is not acid and just melts through the glass.
But glass doesn't melt with acid. I should at least.
It's another dimensional for
alien
character.
Yeah, sure. If that's what Varkir thinks.
It's like,
it could be accurate. Could not, though. Okay, so breakfast is very okay. It's just like, it's, if you're familiar with grits, it's like grits. It's like prison slop and sunny side up eggs.
Savory?
No, they're like they're the kind of grits that give grits a bad name, and that they're tasteless.
Wait.
Yeah.
Grits. I'm gonna reach into Pinky's pocket and think meat.
Very old meat comes out.
Thank you, Pinky.
There's nothing I can do.
Don't you have a fridge?
Why would I have a fridge? I eat anything, Herchek.
You eat this?
Oh, yeah, give it to me.
I eat it.
See? Taste. Follow me.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Is it?
It's got this odd tang to it. It's got this like sourness to it. It doesn't taste like meat whatsoever, but it almost tastes like a necrotic piece of candy. It's like black licorice. Does Herchek like black licorice? You could not like black licorice, but Herchek could.
I hate black licorice.
But Herchek
is eating this like it's meat.
Does he like black licorice?
Herchek never had black licorice, so he wouldn't know. He's from the mountains. From fucking alive.
No, then he'd fucking hate black licorice. Nobody likes black licorice. Only weird people like black licorice.
Yeah.
Oh shit! The DM camera got fucked. I don't know when it did, but I gotta find that out. Midona. It's okay. It's okay. It should still be fine.
I hand it back to him.
To Pinky?
Yeah.
It just slides down his mouth, and the tongue just like
Ah,
vibrates as the meat just slides down into his gullet, and the teeth don't even touch it.
Whoa. I don't know. Oh my god, why?
It's Penky. Why are you asking why at this point?
He's still a rat. You gotta use some teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Or not, I guess.
Look, Penky is my vice. All right.
He's going overboard.
All right, dinner.
Dinner-
breakfast
dinner's
is
Meat,
finished.
is dinner ready for us?
Yes.
It smells good.
It's
smells really good.
It's fish that you have to eat in one bite without your teeth.
Pufferfish?
Yeah, you have to do it. Yeah, you have to let it slide down your throat.
Oh, good.
So me knows it's not that weird.
No,
I
done.
would like to come into the scene at a certain point, any point. Now.
You've already been there.
Oh.
You're there.
You only need 3 hours of sleep. You gotta find something to do.
Knit.
Yeah, I just remembered that.
You knit.
You're just like in the tree, like trying to close your eyes. You're like, wait, I'm fully rested.
What am
I
doing
feel
in
so
this
good.
tree?
Five more minutes.
5 more minutes of nothing.
So, what happened last night?
Where
I
were
really
you?
don't want to ask, but
Where were you,
I
Crow?
saw some disturbing things with.
I killed a kid.
Yep, that's what I thought.
That's what you thought? The first thing
You
you
did,
killed?
see, you did see Hertek walk out, grabbing the
I
kid
did.
from like inside of his
I
meat.
can't unsee that.
He
Yeah,
had
he wanted
a dagger.
revenge.
Mercury, show him that dagger.
I trust you.
It's the same as the dagger that we got off of Kunbara. It looks like the short sword we got off Kunbara with glowing green runes, but it's just
you mean
stone.
Colton? You mean
Or
Cleopatra?
Clear, whatever her name is.
Cleopatra?
The
All these
horse
C words and K words.
I pulled the dagger out. I guess I touch it first to see if it's alive again. And it's like, oh, dagger.
And
Very good.
And
And
why
I pull
was
it out like this is it. It was sentient, but it's not sentient.
But why was he attacking you?
Apparently, he wanted revenge.
For something that happened here a long time ago.
I think
I
our
don't wanna
old
bore you with
our
it.
old companion Tim and Dunky may have caused him some troubles.
You saw actually on the corpse of the child like deep bite scars on his arm.
Damn.
I honestly don't really remember what
Yeah, I don't
happened to
remember.
him.
I want to play the tapes back.
Basically made a weird dress for him. And then I think you wore it instead, and you
What?
looked like the person from Fifth Element.
That's what we did?
No, so
What?
Barkir spoke to this kid the first time he visited Orbit Gate with Kunbara in tow, and he was trying to get the horse, and the kid tried to trick Barkir into like paying him for the horse by saying his mom was really sick. Barkir, I don't think did it.
No.
And then afterwards, the kid was like, "Ooh, new group coming along. They look kind of affluent. I don't know why he would think that." And he snuck into your sleeping quarters, which were much more modest and less guarded at the time, and reached into your bag of gold and tried to take everything out. And that action woke, I think, like you up, who immediately Tim, who immediately jumped and bit his arm. And I think you rolled like a natural 20. So it was like a whole bunch of his flesh was already forfeit by like when your teeth met his arm. And you like tried to convince him to never do something like this again. And then he ran away with a bunch of horses and Varkir ended up getting Nebrexis anyway, I think.
I put some horse in the stable that I killed.
And I think you very much guilt tripped him for lying about his mom.
I do remember that. That's what I remembered. I thought we did something worse, to be honest. I mean, what?
Tim bit a significant amount of flesh off of this kid's arm.
And now he
To
just
be fair, that was the first time he was ever robbed. You know, so fight or flight, fight or bite.
Fight or flight.
Yeah. I'm either fighting or I'm biting.
Bite, fight. Yeah. So breakfast concludes. You guys aren't really happy about what you ate. You feel pretty well rested, but not super comfortable.
Whoa. I'm not done.
Okay.
Is there anything else that happened?
Dagger had a spirit in it or something.
I guess I pull out the worm in a jar and I just pulled this out of the bag of menacing things. You take a look at it.
Put that back in your bag.
It's like one mouth pressing up against it, and the other mouth on the outside, radius of it, also pressing up against it.
Like,
Well, that looks nice. Maybe I could use that to clean my armor.
It's
What?
poisonous.
Nah, it's okay. I'm immune. Yeah. Can I have that?
I need this.
Can I borrow it sometime? Later?
I don't know if you're gonna want to borrow it after I'm done with it, but
Oh,
you can have its remains when I'm done with it. Yes.
What? What?
I don't know what
So-
I was gonna
Just
do
gonna-
with that.
Could I borrow
fuck
it
it to
first
death.
and then you
Yeah.
do what you need to do?
I suppose I just need its insides.
Oh no, you can hold on to it.
Try and use it to clean your armor now. Here,
Okay.
boop.
I'm gonna pop it open and stick it to me like a leech.
Are you really immune
my God.
to?
Poison and I'm resistant. I'm
Oh
immune
my
to disease, but I'm
God.
Here we go.
resistant to poison.
Yep.
Roll a
Can I do a dexterity, contrasting dexterity?
Roll a Constitution saving throw. Roll a dexterity check, or a sleight of hands check, whichever one works better for you.
Not natural 20.
Sleight of hand. 14.
Not quite fast enough, as the small mouth, just as it's leaving the jar, like multiple feet of flesh leave the main mouth of the worm and just embed the teeth into Crow.
I'm gonna rip. Can I rip it off?
You can, but
Be careful with it.
it's so hard to read. I'm just gonna go with, it could be a 2 or a 7. I'm just gonna go with 7.
Oh.
Be careful with it.
Take
Go with the
22
7, huh?
points of, I'm sorry, reduced to 11 points of poison damage as the teeth just embed themselves into your forearm, and it's the main mass of this creature is still inside of the jar. You've
Whoa. All
reached
right.
your hand forward, and the creature's bypassed your grip and just inserted it.
guess-
You know what?
I take
I
the
made a
top. I
mistake.
take the top of the halberd with the. I guess the jar's still in my hand, and it's just attached to him. I'm just taking the top of the halberd and just chop the top of the worm like the
That's
face.
probably
part off.
best.
I'm like, whoop.
Okay, roll a d10.
Just gonna
Just
say to you, Varkir, if I see that worm again, I'm killing it.
I just killed it.
I'm gonna kill it again.
That's 8.
Yeah, the green, thick goop falls from both sides as the smaller, elongated mouth is still stuck into Crow's forearm and just sags below his form and is just dangling there as the teeth slowly,
I'm gonna need those teeth, by the way.
and it falls down. The
Yeah.
remainder, the majority of
They're
the
all
body
yours.
inside of the jar that you're holding just shrivels up and
Close it.
start starts steaming, and the jar now just like fills with this steam, and the body depresses more and more and more against the jar.
All right, I have that jar of whatever this steam stuff is. I'm gonna like tie a rope around the top of the jar and hang it off my waist. Take the other portion of the worm and just take the. I'm gonna sit there. And
I really think, and all those is like you hear this as his Sprinter Hawk's head is leaning down under the entrance to the door again, and he's also leaning down to just show his face to you all, and he goes, I think it's Bresh really needs you all there. It needs your support. I've heard many terrible things about that area recently, and I think that the sooner you get there, the better, if you know what I mean. So, and as he goes, you hear
picking the teeth.
Go.
So what you're saying is we need to move.
I'm picking the teeth out of the worm.
Of course. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I get up. I just get up. I don't care what kind of chair's under me. I just
Nature
get up. Knock it over. Don't care.
I would like to have 10 gold in my hand and shake all those hand and say like, "Thank you. I'm sorry."
Roll a persuasion check.
Start to leave.
So I got a 4.
A 4.
Oh wait, a 4 plus investigation. Oh yeah, so it's still 4.
You try and rip a tooth out, but it just like rips the entire face off.
I have a ring of teeth or something. Or
Yeah.
What? I guess I'll just. I have this ring of teeth. I guess I'll put it on my finger like a ring.
Oh.
You feel the ever so slight pressure sink into your finger, and then just release. It's the pressure is still there, but like there's no more life inside of the ring. But it's stuck on your finger.
A tooth ring, yes. Aha.
I got 19.
What was the roll for again?
It was a persuasion check? For when I was like shaking his hand. With
Yeah. They're handing him 10 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? A 19?
Yeah.
Aldous is thoroughly confused, but he goes, he grabs the money and he goes, I can do a lot with this. It was good having you. And he's just like shaking your hand, and he goes, I can't wait to see you guys again, but take your time. You've got things that you need to accomplish. So the Orbit Gate and the Orbiteers. And you hear, hey, that's us! Stop it, Simon. We'll always be here for you. Can't wait to see you again.
As I'm walking out, I'm gonna put my hand on his, like, he's on his bird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Put my hand on his thing. Like, yeah, like prepare or wait for a word from Bobby. You will hear from him soon.
Good news, I hope. You've done good work here.
You have.
No breaches in security.
You could kind of say that.
Thanks to you all.
Just wait for a word.
A valuable asset to the Orbit Gate.
Although you are indispensable for this gate. You are a key player here.
Are you being genuine?
Yes.
Okay.
But you will hear from Bobby.
I look forward to it. Whatever he has to say, whatever you convey to him, I'm sure is just and genuine and can only help.
It will. And I leave.
Those under me, however, I'm good to go.
They should prepare. And I leave.
Okay. Yes, you guys.
I go to the stores, wherever the carts are.
Carts are just against the wall towards the stables.
They're not automatically all fixed. This is stupid.
No, you and as you approach the carts, the artisans are also they're by the gate closest towards Orenbelle. Most all of them, even the carpenter, who was the only one to have an undamaged cart. And they're just deliberating, and they approach. Who would be the least intimidating here? Thunky.
And the the architect, the small elf with the giant lenses, goes, "You know, we've been talking, and we just don't think we're ready for Brash right now. We've been through a lot, you know, and I think we're gonna go back to Orenbelle. I think we're gonna go back to Orenbelle. I
All
think
of
you
you?
guys have proven to be very capable. Whatever happens in Bresh, I'm sure you can handle. You don't need ours.
But we need your guys' skills and gifts to smooth over our entrance into Bresh.
That's it's difficult to commit to right now, I should say.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, you guys are all together.
What's your name? What?
Oh, it was Copper.
Copper?
Yeah.
Well, Copper.
It's Copper.
You were sent on a mission from Kunbara, the queen.
But under the pretense that we'd be using things that we had made, and they have been destroyed. I had many good and grand plans for Bresh. If we arrived there now, I wouldn't have anything to show them.
Are you coming later? Are you coming in like 3 days?
That would be for you to tell us.
You're coming in 2 days.
Roll a persuasion check. Or intimidation, whatever you want to use.
Damn. 8.
We'll get back to you. It took a little longer than 3 days to make our plans, and my blueprints especially were not a small feat to accomplish. I spent a little time in my lab, in my
Remember
study.
the creatures that I turned into during the battle with Cleopatra?
I'd rather not.
If you guys don't show up within a week, I will come back to Orenbelle as that creature and haunt you at your home. All of your guys' homes.
And they all just sort of like are almost of one essence, in that they're like shriveled down a little bit. Their eyes are not confident whatsoever. They're except for Willie. Willie the shifter is just like this beautiful statue in the background. And Wilson the stonemason is just like carving out whatever he can from it. Roll an intimidation check.
Isn't this?
11.
11? No, why would you do that? We're not fighters, and all of our art was destroyed. We've put so many hours and days and thoughts into those. They're just gone.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, whatever. How tall is he? He's an elf.
He's a little bit smaller than you.
I'm gonna put my hand on his face and like and walk
I
past
really don't
him.
think you should be sad.
And then like right at this point where like, you know, like I'm just about to leave him, I'm gonna go like this. Push his face a little.
Heroes!
Good. And the gate shuts with them on the other side, outside of the orbit gate, on the path back to Orenbelle.
So who do we have remaining?
No one.
Not even Carnigal?
I'm sorry. Carnigal, yes, is standing there.
The gold?
He's with the supply cart waiting. I should have mentioned this. I'm sorry. He's with the supply cart waiting with as much gold as he could have piled on, at the entrance to the eastern side of Orbit Gate.
Should get moving.
I'm sorry. I only overheard a little bit of that. But are they coming back?
I don't know. I couldn't get a good read on them. I think they are.
Do we need to go talk to him?
Huh?
Do we need to go talk to him?
I mean, you can. That'd probably help. I'm not very intimidating.
Grow, Fakir, your thoughts?
I mean, I was thinking that they could just make new art commissioned by the town. But
We could just, get a bunch of sorcerers and fix their stuff.
All we have now is Carnival.
A hell of a resource.
Ferrets want to do the job. I'm sorry. It's the truth, Carnival.
You wound me, Aasimar.
Carnival, how much gold did you have into salvage?
Well, thanks to your efforts, and that of those around, and the limited capacity of this cart, we managed to salvage about 14,000 gold pieces, but it's not the original 20.
The original 20. It was 20 originally. Eh?
It was.
That should be
How
fine.
did we just lose 6,000?
I would recommend that this now turns into a mission of reconnaissance rather than of political gain. Diplomacy, rather.
That makes more sense now that we have nothing to offer.
Can you shade the cart at all while we take it? You are the spy master, I thought.
What does being a spy master have to do with shadows?
I mean shading, like you make this so the cart is not as, stand outdish with all this gold and expensive things on it.
I would honestly recommend we leave the cart here, or send it back to Brett, or Orenbelle.
I think Orenbelle would be a lot better than
We
this
need to be light on our feet.
Should we take some gold with us, just in case we run into any problems, or no?
No, I don't think we should.
We have our words, which
You know what? Fuck
always
it.
work.
Roll a persuasion check, Fakir.
Alright.
Against the master of
The
spies.
gold dice.
Oh,
Persuasion, so that's... Wait, hold on. 22, not natural.
I think that's a fair point, Vakir. Take as much as you're comfortable with.
I'm only going to take about 500 gold, just in case we run into any tolls or any bad guys we can't persuade.
We should all take some, right?
No, we should all take some. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 4 of us. I'll take 400 gold. And give each of us 100.
He pulls out a ledger and a quill and writes it down.
400?
400, 100 for each of us, yes.
I don't
just in
take
case
it.
we all... Okay, so 300 then. 1, 2, 3.
He writes down in his ledger.
You got an extra 0 there, Carmen. Going, no, take it away. 300. No, that's it. Not 3,000.
Is this a
not 30,000.
loan, or are we taking this with us to pay for any tolls or unforeseen?
Consider this a loan from Orenbelle. Use it to get supplies. This mission is more important than whatever the gold would be doing if it was sent back to Orenbelle now. I can talk to the Queen, and I'm sure she'd be amicable to it.
need to make sure the artisans show up. If you could send word to make sure that happens to the Queen, that'd be much appreciated. Carnival.
I'll see what I can do, but an artist's soul is hard to mend. Hard to sway as well.
It's not hard to kill.
Then we would lose every valuable aspect of their being.
It's their fault.
I'll be sure to tell them.
Stabbing a dagger to their heart. It's your fault.
This is your doing.
Okay, and there is a series of orbiteers lined up with their sprinter hawks at the eastern gate as a means of showing you the door.
Do I see Percival?
It's probably at 11 a.m. right now. Percival would probably still be sleeping. Or being chastised and committed to some terrible task to make up for his failure last night.
I have his halberd, so yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't
I gave him
notice.
10 gold,
Now
though.
he lost his weapon.
I gave him
It's
10
even more
gold. I gave
punishment.
him 10 gold for his outfit, so. Yeah. He didn't say no, so. It's fine.
All right.
The deal was signed.
What are you guys doing? As the way is led before you. Still a small chicken.
We have
Carnival coming
we have
with us?
Sprinter Hawks.
Carnival has 2 Sprinter Hawks at the front, of his, and
His cart.
yeah, his cart.
Pile on his cart.
So I'll sit on the back of the cart with the halberd, just looking at the gate.
Did you or did you not decide to send the cart back though?
Oh, yeah.
The money cart
Yeah.
to Orenbelle.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then Carnival just has 1 extra Sprinter Hawk, and it is a. You sort of see him talking with the Orbiteers, and they lend him 1. The other 2 Sprinter Hawks are going back to Orenbelle.
I'd like to ask.
Get some supplies.
Thunky, did you turn us into something?
Huh?
Make us go to
The-
travel faster?
Turn you into something?
Cloud travel?
Don't you have the portal, go through a tree, get clouds, turn us into some poofs.
It is only 1 day's travel. Right?
2.
I would like to ask Aldo's Dash, because how abundant is the wildlife around here?
How
Is it
did you
fierce
know?
or
I didn't even know.
The farther you get into the jungle,
As you told me.
I forgot about it.
Not you.
the farther you get into the jungle, the more fierce it becomes. As you leave civilization, that's when the pyre bears and the giant boars
yes,
come
the
out.
the giant animals. I do remember something
Pyre
about
bears were not a
those.
problem a few months ago.
No,
but they,
I hold up my hand like, yes, I know pyre bears. Let's be on our way. We'll go straight there. Yes. I need more hearts.
may the spirits of nature guide you.
They do.
Okay.
Inexplicably.
I'm casting Windwalk on all of us.
It's Carnival's coming with us, right?
Yeah, how many people can they get?
Up to 10.
Oh, nice. You guys are good to go. Yeah, you have 5 total. Nobody else is coming with you. Except for Carnival. Okay, so Carnival goes, oh, I used to adventure with somebody who was able to do...
I don't speak cloud.
As you all feel your... the tiny little pieces that comprise your being just separate and get pulled apart and shifted. You feel an entire different sense of being as you are now. You have gone from the form that you've always known to this. Fuck that pen. To this amorphous cloud type of being. No part of you is physical. You cannot speak. What are the? Can you speak as a cloud? I don't think you could.
I don't think so.
I don't think they did in Critical Role either.
Can you read that off?
Says you and up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range assume a gaseous form for the duration, appearing as wisps of cloud. While in this cloud form, a creature has a flying speed of 300 feet and has resistance to damage. And you can only take an action for dash or to revert to its normal form. Reverting takes 1 minute, during which time a creature is incapacitated and can't move. Until the spell ends, a creature can revert to cloud form, which also requires the 1 minute transformation. I don't know how long this lasts, though. Is this like however long you want? It says casting time is 1 minute.
8 hours.
Wait. Oh.
Which would be able to get you just before Bresh in 1 day. Okay, so as Carnival finishes the first half of his sentence, you all turn into this collection of gaseous forms represented by various different colors. Herchek gray, Varkir light blue, Thunky light. I mean, you're still a dwarf, say just like
Orange.
an amberish tint, and Crow. What color do you want to be?
Brown.
Silver.
Sand brown.
Sand brown, amber and sand brown, and Carnival is this just slight tinge of red. It wears a red cloak, I'll say.
Furry.
And you guys, instead of going out through the gate, you make Cloud eye contact with Aldos, and you just rise above the gate and cloud your way through.
Those poor people. Like, what a day they've had. 24 hours with us.
Yeah.
And rise over the gate and zoom in your cloud forms off into the distance to potentially Bresh. And that is where we will pick up next time on
Off to another massacre.
Assassins and Dragons. Thank you for joining us, Sassins. As always, until fate next brings us together. And never stop playing role-playing games.
夜明け生まれ来るものよ決して